Dear friends, the upcoming fast day of the 17th of Tammuz is in fact a teaching to all of us of the 5 steps of spiritual destruction. Rabbi Ettlinger, the Aruch LaNer, a famous German rabbi of the 1800s, shares with us that the 5 calamities that took place on the day of the 17th of Tammuz, the breaking of the tablets, the nullification of the daily service that took place, the Korban Atomid from our Roman aggressors that prevented us from engaging with that. The third thing, which is the breaching of the walls of Jerusalem, which eventuated in the destruction of the temple. And the final 2, where Apostomus, a general of the Roman army, came in and burnt a Sefer Torah, as well as established an idol in the sanctuary of the holies of holies. Those 5 things represent a down spiral in our own spiritual connection, in our own personal temples. The first step, which is so relevant because we don't find ourselves together with the motivating force of our community, being in our synagogue together, seeing one another, having our beautiful kiddush to motivate us to come and daven. We are then left to be very conscious and careful to not allow these 5 states of spiritual destruction to seep into our experience of life. The first is the breaking of our tablets. Make sure that if we've had our ability to tap into our tablets, which means the study of Torah, which existed on a daily level through our minyanim, through studying together, through our Shabbos services of hearing shiurim, make sure that now with the chaos that exists in the world, that we haven't lost our ability to learn every day. It is more important and more vital than ever that we stay inspired and that we stay learning. Find some online platform, find something at home to read. Keep yourself inspired. If you were learning the parasha every single Shabbos, keep on doing that. But don't let go and allow your tablets, the inspiration of studying from the Torah, to be broken. Because the next step, if a person lets go of their inspiration of study, is that their sacrifices, their daily offerings are nullified. They start to say, you know what? I was davening every Shabbos. I could have been davening every day, Shacharis, Mincha, Mariv. I could have been saying the Shema on a daily basis. Whatever my practice of service within prayer, it's not important anymore. I don't have a shul. I'm not inspired by my surroundings. I'm distracted at home. It is so important that we don't allow our daily offerings to become revoked, to become obsolete. Allow ourselves to stay inspired, daven on a daily basis, dust off that siddur if it's become dusty, open it up. If you daven every Shabbos, make sure you're still davening. If you daven every day, make sure that you keep it up. If you are davening 3 times a day, don't let go of that Mariv, don't let go of that Mincha. Every single moment that we're able to retain in our service is vital. The next and final state before we come to the ultimate destruction, God forbid, is that our walls are breached. Once a person isn't inspired through their learning, once a person isn't inspired and connected through their service and prayer, it comes to the breaching of our walls, which means the destruction of our purity, the ability to have a state of boundary that we set aside for ourselves, that we know what is able to come in and what is able to go out, how we talk to people, what we consume in the media, what we look at. Once a person loses those initial states of inspiration, it starts to affect their walls. Their walls start to break open. Their boundaries start to suffer. And the finality, God forbid, of those 3 things is that our Sefer Torah is burnt. The positivity and light, the connection to our spirituality, which is represented by the Sefer Torah, is burnt. We become resentful to God. We become resentful in our lives. We become negative. We become consumed by that fire. And the finality of all of that is that we establish an idol in our Holy of Holies, God forbid. And that is once we lose all of that inspiration, we start to turn to to other forms of filling ourselves up, forms of idolatry, forms which are secondary to our nature, forms which never will fill us up because they aren't who we are. And the important aspects that we learn from this day is to retain a sense of inspiration and practice as much as possible in the crazy climate that we live in. And God willing, we should be able to find that temple that exists within every single one of us. We should rebuild it and keep it safe and holy. And God willing, we should see the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. Good Shabbos with blessing and sanctity, all the best, and sending love and blessing.